10 years ago, I had just been laid off from my tech job that I thought, oh, great, it's stable. So after 6 months, I moved. And then within 4 months, the position was eliminated. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? Well, I guess I'll plug into the entrepreneurship community and just kind of see how it goes. Being in San Francisco, 2016, what's the best that could happen? And I remember I signed up for an event at the NASDAQ Center, and it was about sales. And there was this woman wearing a black dress with cutouts on the side and peacock earrings. And she had this sort of fun flair, kind of corporate, very confidently speaking. And there was just something, I'm like, I don't even care what she's talking about. I'm like, I need to talk with this woman. She is like embodying something that is really just like hitting the mark for me. It's really inspiring. I could see myself in her. I could see this next level version of myself in her. And she did have an offer, naturally, being a sales conversation at the end of her talk. And it was to join an 8-week mastermind. So I made the biggest investment I'd ever made in myself and my business. It didn't even exist at the time. And the mastermind, I learned the fundamentals of sales. And then she had an upsell at the end where she asked me to be her one-on-one client. And I remember going through these mental gymnastics of, okay, logically, can I guarantee my ROI? And then I had an idea of what I thought my ROI should have been on the 8 weeks. And I was like, it didn't quite hit it. And can it hit it in the future? Maybe, maybe not. Just, I wasn't having the best time with uncertainty. So instead of following that instinct of feeling really inspired and like, ooh, what are the possibilities here? Like it has this stage presence. She has this knowledge. She knows how to build a business. But I convinced myself that it would be more tangible. It would make more sense. It would be more logical if it was meant to be. So because I could poke 1 hole, 2 holes in whatever vision the most ideal version was that I had in my head, I declined. And this woman actually went on to become a multi-million-dollar coach. And this was kind of in her earlier days. And I ended up being mentored later on by someone that she mentored. And it's moments like these where we can't kick ourselves. But something that I've honed in the past decade has been taking chances and following those intangible moments where we have an opportunity to up level. And this isn't scarcity mindset. It's not like, oh, you say no and the opportunities close forever. I mean, that can be a possibility, but it's about allowing the serendipities to line up and to say yes, to allow certainty to go a step above logic, because our brains are beautiful. They do a lot of great things. I love logic. I love really intelligent clients. It's like, ooh, we can go there. We can create magic. But then speaking of magic, there are things that don't always make sense. Some of the best decisions that I've made in my business, in my personal life, have been when things didn't make sense. I mean, one quick example was around the time when I was laid off, I also had the opportunity to leave the apartment I was in. There was an issue with the landlord and my roommate at the time. But I decided, okay, what if I move into another place in San Francisco, even though I don't have an income? I'm like, no, I'm not ready to leave here yet. And then what do you know? Things lined up. Even though the other place, it took me 400 applications to get, I was basically handed another place to live that ended up being the best place that I ever could have chosen to live for those next 5 years. And just the connections I made, the friendships, and just everything is so special when I think back, and so foundational to the work that I do now with my book, Confident Introvert, with coaching introverts specifically on speaking and creating their keynote talks. And every now and then I see this on calls. There are people that feel the pull. They can see a larger vision, just like I did when I was in that audience. And maybe they dip their toe in. Maybe they take a micro step. Or maybe they're like, nope, I need to see the proof. Give me the proof first, and then I'll take the leap. Well, and if there's one piece of advice that I could give to myself a decade ago that I could even give to you now so that you don't have to make the same mistake that cost me probably a good amount of money over the years and a good amount of not just money, but making an impact and actually helping people with my message. Because, yeah, when I created my keynote, I created it in 2018 and I started touring it in 2019. So that's a few years. And, it is better late than never. But when it comes to living your purpose, when you have an inkling of what it could be, it's not always about waiting until, okay, I'm completely certain, like this is it without a shadow of a doubt. There might always be a little bit of a doubt, but it's about not letting that run the show, right? So it's about, at times, letting the vision of your future, not just for you, but for everyone that you can actually really help, take the front seat. While all of the reasons why it shouldn't work, why it couldn't work, why statistically it's really improbable, that gets to take the back seat. And that's when synchronicities happen. That's when things line up. That's when your life gets to look like something that you always wished it could look like. And now here we are. I'm in my Manhattan apartment. Hello. I just moved in a couple weeks ago. Really excited for a next chapter. And I'm so inspired by the people that I've been working with that have these visions that, they just finished their PhD program. They are ready for a next phase after a really successful chapter in corporate or in athleticism. And they're like, okay, they've always had this idea of, ooh, like that would be so cool if I could do that, but can I? Or maybe they're actually actively already doing it, but they're like, wait, if I just knew the steps, if I knew how to curate my talk, if I knew my back end offer, if I knew how to publish my book that I started writing, and this is knowledge that I have, this is knowledge that I learned, that I hired others to help me with, that I have now put my own spin on. And if you are at a precipice of, could this be possible for me? I don't know. And you want to choose the boldest version of your life. And if now it could be the time, what if you chose that it was the time? Not to force it, but to allow things to open. So I would like to invite you to chat with me. I'm going to put a link below. It's tidycal.com/Stephanie Thoma/clarity. And what we'll do in that call, there doesn't even have to be a pitch. I want to help you get more clear on either something that's in the way of you taking action or being successful or feeling really confident and great about what you are doing or what you want to be doing. And everyone walks away with at least one very actionable, very clear takeaway. And then if we both think, okay, we like where this is going, and if you say, yes, I think that you can help me, then I'll let you know ways that I can do that. And if not, then we end at the halfway mark and you get the gift of more clarity than you had before. So, in this new year, in this new season of you, I want to bring this lesson to light, not to harp on, oh my gosh, a decade ago, I didn't take a leap that could have really changed the game. But it's like, if you are in a similar situation, or if you could be in a similar situation, what would it be like to choose something that doesn't make any sense, but if it does work out, it would be the best thing ever? All right, wishing you a beautiful day, and I look forward to connecting with you. Okay, bye.